What is up? This is the roster review series or Chronicles. I think Chronicles sounds better. The roster review Chronicles. But it's time to make moves. It's time to get better. It's time to prepare your team for next season because there is no off season when it comes to Dynasty. So we're going to do a roster of a team review, and we are going to go over this roster. We're going to look at the core players who are guys that we don't want to trade away, who are our stud players. We're going to look at what are the team needs. We're going to look at some trade pieces, some players that we can trade, some picks that we can trade, and maybe some trade targets who we can look at acquiring to try and make this team better. So, guys, just before we get into the video, hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate that. It greatly supports the channel. So let's get into this roster review. So let's take a look at the format here. This is a start 11. We've got one QB, a 2 running back, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 3 flexes, and this is a 12-team, 1 QB league. It was the first year of the league this year, and he finished in 2nd place. By the way, Steve, shout out to you. Thanks for following us all the way from Germany. It's
Germany,
it's
yeah.
actually it's actually 5:30 in the morning over there, so he's not currently watching, but he'll watch it in the morning, he
You
said.
never know. Maybe he's on the way to work, got us booted up.
Yeah, bright and early over there. But if we look at his picks here, looks like he's got no first in 23, 24, or 25. 207, 411, 511 for this year. And let's look at some of the guys that he has here. At QB, he's got Herbert, Carr, Love, and Howell. This is a 1 QB, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
We've got at running back Etienne, Pollard, Pierce, Zeke, Wilson, Davis, Price, and Strong. Wide receivers, JJ and Chase. That's nice.
Yeah.
London, Watson, Pickens, Moore, Slayton, A-Rob, Mechie, Thornton, Dortch, Demarcus Robinson. Tight ends, we got TJ Hawk, Jelani Woods, Zach Ertz, and Quarteriano. I said that right. Quarteriano. And this is a 2 tight ends, so he's got to start 2 tight ends here. And it looks like he made some trades. It looks like he traded all of his first for Chase, I guess, right?
Yeah, I would say. I would say that. I would say he traded
Yeah,
he
23 to
trade
25. He's got down here at the bottom. He's I got what he did here. He traded Rashard White and the 211 for Damian Pierce. He
Ooh.
traded Saquon and the 24 third for ETN and Pickens and the 2024 fourth. And he traded OBJ and Mooney and a 2023 311 for Elijah Moore, Mechie, and a 23 207. So, what do you think about the trades first? I guess we'll start there.
Um well uh the one that really stands out is the White and the 211 for Pierce, right? I would say that was a little that could have been a little much, because if you think about it, no, Pierce looked good early, and then he tapered off late, and then he got hurt. But White kind of looked, to me at least, White looked like he could, given the lead role, and he probably will get the lead role this coming year. I think he's on par with Pierce. I think going straight up, both of them, going straight up White for Pierce, I think could have been enough, and giving it to 11 is a little much. Saquon and a third for ETN Pickens. I mean, okay, I guess Saquon is Saquon, but ETN looks like he's going to be a player too. You know what I'm saying? And he has the catching upside. So I don't see anything there. I think actually to be able to grab Pickens along with that, that's a decent trade. And getting rid of Odell and Mooney and getting Elijah Moore. Mechie, I think, could be a player coming back if he gets back from the cancer thing. I actually like the OBJ Mooney trade and getting Elijah Moore. If the Jets ever get a quarterback in there, you see what Flacco and Mike White was able to do. They gave Elijah Moore, and Elijah Moore is talented. He can play. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the trades. I just think maybe he paid a little bit too much for Pierce.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, I don't know. I guess after seeing the playoff game, would you say Saquon and ETN kind of the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get to reset the clock a little bit on the running back position as
Yeah,
well, and then
couple years.
on top of that, you get Pickens, and you get a 4th back, so I feel like you get, basically split the asset, you get the 2 for 1, especially in a start 11 where, you need,
You
it's
need
a
the
little bit
players.
deeper, you need the players. So, and then the upside that Pickens has. So it's the perfect tear down, if you do have Saquon, like that's a perfect tear down move that you want to make. So I love that move. I love the OBJ, Mooney, and the third for Elijah Moore and Mitchell. You've got the
Yeah.
upside in Elijah Moore. I mean, you've got to pray and hope. And then Mechie, he's in a good position, and you got to hope that situation
Hopefully he
works
comes
out.
back. Yeah, he comes back healthy and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
like
you get the
Saquon.
207, you get the 207
Mhm,
on top. I mean, I'll take the
yeah,
207 over OBJ right now.
he's
Uh,
not playing. He's not playing, dude.
so to get, Moore and Mechie, that's good there. I mean, Rashard White, yeah, I guess you gave up a little bit much. I mean, because Rashard White, you can kind of just wait it out, and he might be kind of the same thing that Damian Pierce is. So they are kind of
That's what
even.
I'm saying. To give up the
Give up a little bit
211,
more there, but it's not too bad. That's not
it's
too
not.
bad.
It's not horrible.
And then you gave up the 3 first for Chase. I mean, that was big, obviously. But listen, you went out and got what you wanted.
Jamon Chase.
You've
Yeah.
got JJ Chase and Drake London, and that kind of gives you 3 really good young wide receivers to kind of try and build off of. And
And
it's one QB,
don't
so
forget Christian Watson.
and Christian Watson too. But being that it is one QB, you can take the chances a little bit more of giving up your first if you're getting the position players that kind of help you out there. But
Yeah.
all right, so tell me, Bagala, what's some of the studs, what's some of the core players that you don't want to give away?
Probably the studs in the core that you want to keep would be JJ Chase, ETN, and Herbert. Right? Those that's your core, I think, going forward. JJ Chase, Herbert, and ETN. I would have to see. It was a down year for Herbert, but I still think Herbert has the talent to be like one of the top 5 quarterbacks, especially if somebody like Sean Payton goes there. So you're going to want to hold him. But those are the 4 guys I would say this is my core, and it would take a lot for me to move them. London is a good young asset. Watson is a good young asset, but they're just not there yet to say like they're going to be one of some of your core guys. They show flashes that they're pretty good, but they're still really young. So for me, the core of this team is Herbert, ETN, JJ, and Chase. Maybe I'm a little biased, or a little like what do you say? With just watching ETN the other night, you kind of see, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like, yeah, next year he could be one of those top 5 backs if he's able to stay healthy. He's one of those dudes, right? So yeah, that's the core 4 for me. Those 4 players really.
I'm gonna add 2 more to that. So I agree with Herbert 100%. And Herbert, even though it was a down year, I mean, he threw for almost 5,000 yards. He threw for 4,700 yards. He only threw for 25 touchdowns was the problem. So, if it wasn't for that, he'd be, up there. He was still finished QB number 8. So,
Hmm.
it's just not what we expected. We expected him to be top 5. So if he throws more touchdowns, he'll get in there. But he did have injuries kind of all season, and he didn't have all his full weapons through the whole year. So give him that. But he can throw the football. We can see that, and
He
he's
definitely can.
moving that
He's one of
around.
those.
So
Yeah.
I agree. Out of the running backs, ETN is the only one that I would want to build around, especially in this where you've only got to start 2 running backs. So I'd like to keep ETN. JJ and Chase 100%. London for me is an automatic keep. I'm not getting rid of London. Watson's on the fence. I'll trade him, if you have to. And then I'm going to add, other than Drake London, I'll add TJ Hawkinson to this.
Oh.
Um, at tight end in the league where you got to start 2 tight ends, I'm keeping TJ. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of TJ, especially in a league where you got to start the 2 tight ends. So I'll add that one to it. What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess you could say that since you have to start the two tight ends, but having Pickens, having Watson there, and London, you could always make a move with London and T.J. Hawkinson and go get, you know, one of
Mm,
a better tight end. You know what I'm saying, or
no, I'm not.
something like that. But I guess if you want to say you're going to keep T.J., um, okay, he's a decent option. He's good. I just don't. I feel like if there's anything better that comes around, I wouldn't have a problem moving off of TJ.
But who's better? That's come. I mean, TJ is going to be what, a top 5 dynasty tight end now that you think about it. I mean, I haven't
Well,
gone through the rankings, but he's got to be right up there.
you hope, and you got to see what he's going to be in a full season with Kirk Cousins, and you got to see what happens with Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins is also 35 years old. He's getting up there, so you gotta see what happens at what time does the Vikings decide to turn and go say, all right, Kirk Cousins hasn't won us a championship. Now let's turn back the clock because he is getting up there. What did he sign? Another 2-3 year deal. Um, they're not going to be paying him 35, $40 million after this contract. So at the
They got to
very
pay him
best,
this year. They got to
you
pay him
got
this.
to pay. Yeah, you pay him this year, maybe next
They got to
next
pay
year
him.
coming.
They have to.
But after next year, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? For the Vikings, you don't know if he's coming back. So for me, if you could somehow package a London and a Hawkinson and get a Kyle Pitts or get somebody like that, then you start thinking about that, But as we're gonna see next year, I'm sure somebody's gonna break out in the tight end position and start, taking over and being those top tight ends as we see Andrews, even getting the Andrews, as we see Andrews and Kelsey get a little bit longer in the tooth. But like Hawkinson just worries me. I just don't know how many more games Kirk Cousins has left with the Vikings this year coming up. Yeah, but after this year, I really don't know.
Well, I mean, he was still good without Kirk Cousins, and I think being that they've got JJ and they've got TJ Hawkinson, it would be a viable spot for a QB to want to go to, or it would be, in the Vikings' best interest to find a QB because of the weapons that they do have. So I'm not as worried about that. And being that you got to start 2 tight ends, I definitely want TJ. I even like Jelani Woods here as well. But
Yeah, I like Jelani Woods. I think he's going to be a good tight end, good safety blanket for the rookie coming in that's going to play in Indianapolis. They're going to get one of these quarterbacks in the draft.
yeah. You can probably cut Demarcus Robinson and cut Davis Price.
Yeah, you can probably
Because they're just kind of out of it. Mason now has like that third position locked up, that third RB slot locked up. But
probably Davis Price can probably go on the waivers. Demarcus Robinson also can, and I would say I would, you know, I would be thinking about cutting A-Rob as well. Like,
yeah, he's kind of just on the fence. You might just,
yeah,
want to hold him and just see what happens just because he's going to be in a good position with a good quarterback. Obviously, it didn't work out this year, but it's not like you're going to pick up somebody better off of the waivers unless there is somebody out there that's better. But I doubt it if you've got, Demarcus Robinson in there as well. All right. So the team, I mean, he finished second place this year with this squad because he's got JJ, he's got Chase. But what are some of the team needs that you think here? Don't forget we got to start 11. It is 2 tight end. What are some of the team needs you think here?
maybe try and upgrade a second tight end. Get something a little bit better. Maybe it kind of looks like he's set at his wide receiver spot. His wide receivers go pretty deep, and Elijah Moore and Pickens going to be better next year. Mechie's probably going to get healthy. He's going to come back. I even like a Thornton. Thornton made some plays from New England. Slayton, he played big today. He's been good for the Giants. I don't know how long that lasts. And I guess I like his running backs, ETN, Pollard, Zeke, Pierce. Pierce is a good RB2. So yeah, if anything, I would just try and see if I can get another starting tight end in there, because that indie tight end room is just muddled. Mo Alley Cox, and you don't know who's going to be the quarterback there. I'll definitely keep Woods, but I'm looking to get another starter in there at some point.
Yeah, well, Ali Cox I think his contract is up, so it should be Jelani Woods and Kyle Granson again. And Woods started
Yeah,
coming along at the end of the season, so you hope going into
he
next
did.
season I look for him. Sports Sequence, what's up? Says A-Rob is definitely a cut candidate if he doesn't
Yes,
do
he
anything again
is.
next season. I agree 100%. But being that, I mean, you've got like Demarcus Robinson on the bench. It's like you might as well just hold on to A-Rob and pray. I mean, because there's probably not anybody out there better. But I agree 100%. I mean, A-Rob was very disappointing, but definitely.
Yeah,
All right,
and
so yeah,
maybe if I'm him, I'm maybe try and get a first, get back into the first in 2024 if I can do that, you know.
if you can,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I think I'd like to probably get another top end receiver to go with JJ Chase in London, or something. If you can do that there, I think we're definitely fine at QB. What are some trade pieces as well that we have here? I don't mind getting rid of Pierce and Zeke. I mean, Pierce and Zeke got to go for me.
oh,
I think
well,
Watson,
Zeke.
Pickens, both are tradable as well. So these are guys that I'm trying to probably look to move. Can you move Pierce and the 207 for a wide receiver?
Maybe,
Can you move Pierce and the 207 for Devonta Smith? Is that something would you do?
maybe you could probably do that.
For a Michael Pittman?
Yeah, you could somewhere along those lines. It just won't be, that top tier. It'll probably be a step down if you're looking to trade Pierce and Zeke, but uh, or the 207. Honestly, I would want to keep Pierce. And I think the better trading chip right now, as it stands, the better trading chip, just because of what it looked like and how he played during the season. Tony Pollard. I would rather trade Tony Pollard.
Well,
I'd
I want to
probably
trade
be
both.
that'd probably be easier, to, well, maybe not, but or yeah, I would trade Tony Pollard 207. Honestly, I
Can you
don't
get a
know
first?
what's gonna
Can we get a first for Tony Pollard and the 207?
probably
Get a
not.
mid
I don't
first
think so.
or a late first?
Maybe a late first. Maybe a late first, somebody in that 12, 11, 10 range that it figures, all right, I'm getting a running back and I'm only moving back a couple of spots, you know, and plus they'll already
Well,
have
I'd
their
rather,
second.
yeah.
So they probably would be enticed to do that, and you can probably get a back end late first for this year. You know,
Same thing with Pierce. Can you combine Pierce and the 207 or Pierce and Mechie? You know,
well, I think you're gonna take 50 cents on the dollar on Mechie anyway
Pierce and
because he hasn't
Pickens,
played.
Pierce and Pickens, Pierce and Watson, Pollard and Watson, Pollard and Pickens. Any kind of combination
Well,
that can get you one step up on another wide receiver. That's what I want to do
Well,
here. I don't care about the
yeah,
running
but
back
if
really.
I'm giving Watson, I'm not giving Pierce also, unless I'm getting into the middle of the first round, closer
Well,
to the
no, I'm
top.
I'm saying it doesn't even matter about the first round. You could even go after a player. Can you give up, Pierce and Watson and go after a wide receiver? You know,
Oh yeah, if you can if you I definitely
DK
think if
Metcalf,
that's yeah if
Jalen
that's
Waddle.
I was just about to say that name. I was just about to say Jalen Waddle. If you can package Pierce and Watson and go get a Jalen Waddle, somebody thinks that, that's a trade that you should look at. You know what I'm saying? Then you're rolling, but because Watson has showed and he's had the early success that he can play and he can produce. But a lot of people might hold off on that also because you just don't know what Aaron's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would package Pierce and Watson for a Jalen Waddle. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I try and package Pollard and a wide receiver and/or the
Or
pick,
Pierce
or
and a wide
Pierce and the
receiver.
wide receiver on the pick, or really both of them and the wide receivers and the pick separately, though, two separate transactions. But yeah, if you can pick up two more wide receivers somehow, getting off of Pollard and Pierce, that are a step up from Watkins and Pickens, that would be something I would want to do because you've got to start three wide receivers. You've also got three flexes to play as well. So I'm more inclined to go wide receiver than running back. You only got to start two running backs. So if you can start ETN and you can just fill in that second running back slot every week with something, I like that a lot better.
Yeah. And well, what you're saying is a step up. Is just like if you go and you package that with a to get a Jalen Waddle,
Yeah,
you
cheer up.
just know Waddle's gonna be good every week. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they can turn out to be something. You know what I'm saying? But they still have a little bit of question marks and a little bit more, time to develop. I think Pickens is gonna need a little bit more than Watson, but even if you want to wait, that's good too, because I do think Watson has a better season if he can stay healthy next year. And I'm kind of excited to see what George Pickens can do now that it's, him and Deontay, and there's no more Claypool taking up all of his looks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, especially since, we've got no first for the next 3 years. I really
You
wanna
want to
try
get
and move off of Pollard and Pierce now at that peak value so that you can hop off and get those wide receivers that you need to just kinda keep building around. So, that's kinda like the most important thing that I see out of it is taking advantage of, Pollard and Pierce and their value right now. And even Zeke, you don't have to keep Zeke either. I don't know who's going to take Zeke. Can you sell him for a second? I'll take a second for him. um, but yeah, that's another thing you could look at too. Zeke for a second.
Yeah, but also I think if you wait until the season starts, and I think you would be able to get a little bit more out of trading Pierce and say Watson. You know what I'm saying? Because uh, just on their teams, Pierce is going to go into this year. He's probably going to be the starting back. You know what I'm saying? With a rookie quarterback, he's going to get a ton of volume. His stock is going to go up, and probably after week 3, week 4, you could probably trade him by himself for a first round pick.
But
You
that's
know what
only
I'm
a
saying?
probably. You could trade him now for a first. The problem is, like you're saying,
Maybe.
it's only a probably because you don't want to wait until the season starts. You don't want to wait till free agency comes. You don't want to wait till the draft comes because if they draft a running back or get a running back, that's going to hurt him. So you don't want to take that chance. You might as well trade him now because you want to take advantage. So that's one thing I
Yeah,
will say about that is I want to trade him before anything can possibly happen until you get Michael
yeah. I
Carter.
just think, yeah, but no, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Pierce has showed enough that they feel like he's in their plans for their future. I don't know. I just don't see Houston going to get another running back, and maybe Bijan, but I don't think they get
Well, no, I
Bijan.
mean, it doesn't have to be anybody significant. I don't think they go out and get Bijan or Gibbs or anybody like that, but if they bring in just anybody to just play some kind of role, that's gonna hurt Pierce. Yeah, and being that the offense
Maybe,
isn't great in the first place, but if
yeah,
they come and
maybe,
bring in a Kareem Hunt,
yeah, maybe.
but yeah, I guess those are the trade pieces that we're looking at. I think we gave you a few targets there as well, Steve. But let us know if you've got any other questions going forward or any other trades. The tight ends. I mean, you've got Woods, you've got Ertz. He's going to play again next year. I really like Woods as a buy low. So you know, that being that you have them, that's good. You do want to try and upgrade that position, and you can try and do that in the draft as well. I mean, at the 207, I mean, I doubt Michael Mayer is going to be there at the 207. Maybe if you can grab a Kincaid, I don't know who's going to be there, like I said, but that's one guy you can try and look at the 207 there to try and upgrade that tight end room. If there's not any kind of good wide receivers left, because I mean, at that point, you are in a one QB, so I'm sure not everybody's going after the QBs, which kind of, you know, makes it tough on the later draft picks because everybody else, all the position players are going, you know. And boom, that does it, guys. You know, let us know what you think there in the comments. You guys have any suggestions? Do you have any other opinions, any other ideas to try and help this team get better? Let us know there in the comments. And don't forget, guys, you can always email us at dynastylife, the number 4 ever at gmail.com, so you can get your roster review. It is down there in the description, so you guys can be featured on the next episode. We do it live on air. So it is always fun. You stop in and, you know, you can ask questions as we're going over things. So that's always fun. But just hit that like, hit that subscribe. We truly appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time.